microplastic. It's the tiny particle created when larger plastic items such as toothbrush, bottles, bags breaks down over decades. They float in the water eaten by sea life. That causes two problems. First, the fragments act like a sponge to other toxins in the water. Pesticides and flame retardants, for examples, suctioning them and concentrating them. Secondly, they themselves are complex polymer. Molecules that body can't fully break down. When it gets really tiny to nanometers, it can cross tissue membranes into fish cells. Researchers say that they can be harmful to fish, to their reproduction, immunity and survival skills. Plastic definitely in our food chain, in our drinking water. We wonder how it can affect our human health. It all started from land. Solid waste from our daily use, mostly our plastic, are dumped to the landfill. It will then degrade into microplastics. These microplastics accumulates in soil. Soil erosion, then runoff, will bring this microplastic into the water sources. Microplastics will also transfer through air by wind dispersal. Plastics in water sources then go to the ocean, accumulates in the ocean.
There are three pathways of plastic in the ocean, which is physical, chemical, and biological. For physical, macroplastic will enter the ocean and will break down into microplastic in the presence of sunlight. The microplastic will undergo biofouling, sinking, and go to the sediment and accumulate in the sediment for higher density polymers. For chemical, the floating microplastic that has been break down in the physical process will encounter persistent organic pollutant. Microplastic will absorb the chemical and concentrate the chemical to dissolve in the seawater. Chemical additive will leach from the plastic and equilibrate in the water. For biological, microplastic that in the sediment and the chemical that present in the seawater will ingested by marine organism. Bioaccumulation of pollutant is passing throughout the food chain, and higher consumer is heavily affected due to biomagnification.
Hello everyone, I will explain about the source of straw pollution. As a matter of fact, Malaysia is ranked as the 8th worst nation in the world for plastic use, which includes straw. Drinking straw, as the oldest eating utensil, comes in various sizes. The large sized straw is called jumbo straw. This straw can be found in many places, such as dine-in restaurants, coffee shops, and widely available for purchase at grocery store and supermarkets. Failure to dispose this straw will cause negative impact to the environment.
Hi, for your information, the first straw made by toxic polystyrene, and then it modernized and civilized to polypropylene and polyethylene polymers. Apart from that, the domestic plastic use that we are using every day, such as food wrapper, is made by polyethylene terephthalate or PET PET, and grocery plastic bags made by high density polyethylene, and then the drinking bottles that we are using every day to drink waters and gas drinks that we are buy from the shops, that is made by low density polyethylene polymers.
Plastic straw has a negative impact on human life. This is because some of the materials that are produced or secreted by this plastic is bisphenol A and phthalates, which is plasticizers. This material can interfere with body's natural hormonal system, and also it can cause hormonal imbalance. Plastic straw also has a negative impact on the sea life through their ingestion, bioaccumulation, and also their habitat. Ingestion of plastic material from straw can cause life-threatening complications such as gut infection, reduced food intake, transfer of toxic compounds. It can also change the physical condition of their habitat.
The negative impact of plastic straw to our environment is causing land littering. This is due to the wind carries and deposits this plastic straw from one place to another. And after this plastic straw fermented, it will cause groundwater pollution. Our groundwater and reservoir are susceptible to leaking of plastic. Then this degraded plastic straw will also inhibit the soil nutrients and cause the plant can't grow well. And when this plastic straw land filtered, they will undergo fermentation and they may interact with water to form hazardous chemical. Then they slip into groundwater, cause soil pollution, and run off to the river nearby when raining day. And hence the water quality of the river nearby are degraded.
Assalamualaikum. Today I'm going to explain the way to reduce from pollution. First, we can reduce from pollution with keep using plastic straw. Second, instead of using plastic straw, we can replace plastic straw with using steel straw. Third, another alternative to replace plastic straw is we can use bamboo straw.
We should recycle properly. This should go without saying, but when you are using single-use plastic that can be recycled, always be sure to recycle them. Next, we must support plastic tax or ban. Many municipalities around the world have enacted bans on single-use plastic bags, takeout containers, and bottles. For example, some of shopping malls did not provide plastic bags, so we bring our own reusable shopping bag to buy things. Lastly, we should use reusable bottle for daily use. We should bring our own reusable bottle when going out to get beverage. Instead of buying water in plastic bottle, we use our own reusable bottle to fill water in water filter.